Shook her head. He is a problem. He is powerful, respected, and my mother once considered him as a future leader. Daniel frowned. Wait, are you saying he was supposed to be? She nodded. A mate, a union between us would have made sense. Politically, Daniel rubbed his forehead. So not only am I an outsider, but I also took his place. Yes, Daniel sighed. Great, that explains the death stares. Renala turned to him, her expression worried. We must be careful. The council is preparing for a formal gathering soon. They will decide if you stay or if you must leave forever. Daniel met her gaze, determination burning in his eyes. Then we'll just have to convince them together. The gathering approaches. For the next few days, the tension in the palace grew. Rumors spread quickly. Some Zelvirians admired Daniel's survival skills, but others saw him as a threat to their traditions. Solara, Renala's mother, remained cold. She refused to speak to Daniel, barely acknowledging his presence. But the real challenge would come soon. The official council gathering, where a final decision would be made. Late at night, Daniel and Rianella stood on the balcony again, looking at the stars. Daniel sighed. I feel like no matter what I do, they'll never accept me. Renala placed a hand on his. They fear change, but change is not always bad. Daniel turned to her. And what about you? Do you regret bringing me here? Renola's eyes softened. No, I do not regret it. A slow smile spread across Daniel's face. Good. For a moment they stood there, the tension of the coming days forgotten, but they both knew the real fight was just beginning, and this time it wasn't just about survival, it was about proving love beyond the stars. The Grand Council of Zia was packed. Hundreds of Zelvarians gathered, their shimmering robes reflecting the soft blue light of the floating energy crystals above the high council. Sat on an elevated platform with Solara, the most powerful leader, at the center. Daniel stood tall, though he could feel the weight of every alien eye on him. He had fought, survived, and proven himself, but now everything came down to this: whether the council would allow him to stay or send him back to Earth forever. Renala stood beside him, her presence strong and unwavering, but he could sense her tension. This was her fight too. A deep voice echoed through the hall. The council is now in session. The arguments begin. Seller rose from her seat, her violet eyes sharp. We are here today to decide the fate of the human Daniel, she announced. Though he has passed the trials, there is more to consider. We must decide if a human can truly belong in our world. A council member stood. This is not just about one human, it is about what he represents. If we allow him to stay, it means changing our traditions, it means questioning our own superiority. Another elder nodded. Zelvarians have always been the dominant race. If we welcome humans as equals, what happens next? Will other species demand the same? Daniel clenched his jaw, but stayed silent. He knew he couldn't win by just arguing. Then another voice spoke up. Tyron, this human does not deserve a place here, the warrior said, stepping forward. Yes, he has strength. Yes, he has survived, but strength alone is not enough. Our leader, Ranala, is meant to unite our people with a worthy mate, not an outsider. Daniel exhaled slowly. He had expected this. Tyrion wasn't just fighting against him, he was fighting to replace him. Daniel speaks. Solara turned to Daniel. You have heard their words, human. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Daniel stepped forward, feeling every eye in the room lock onto them. He took a deep breath. I understand why you don't trust me, he began. I'm different. I come from a world that isn't as advanced as yours. I don't have your technology or your traditions. He paused, then continued, his voice firm. But I do have something else, something humans are best at adapting. Murmurs spread through the hall. I survived the trials. I proved my strength, my intelligence, and my will to live. But more than that, I chose to be here, not because I want power, not because I want to change your ways, but because I care about Rianella. He turned to look at her, his eyes softening. She is more than just a leader. She is someone who sees beyond rules and traditions. Someone who believes in something bigger than just the past. He faced the council again. If you send me away, I won't fight it, but understand this change isn't something to fear. It's something that makes us stronger. The room fell silent. A divided council. For a long moment no one spoke. Then one of the elders stood. The human speaks well, he admitted. Perhaps there is wisdom in his words. Another elder scoffed. Wisdom or not, this is a dangerous path. If we allow this, our traditions may weaken. Solara sat in silence, her expression unreadable. Then she spoke. There is only one way to settle this. She turned to Rianella. Daughter, do you truly choose this human? Riela stepped forward without hesitation. Yes, Silara, then the council will vote. The moment of truth. The voting began. One by One, the council members raised their hands for or against Daniel's place. Among them, Daniel held his breath as he watched the count. Some voted against him. Others surprisingly voted in his favor when the final vote was cast. Looked at. The result instead, the council has decided, she announced by a narrow vote, the human will be allowed to stay. Daniel let out a breath of relief, but Solar's eyes were still cold. However, he remains under observation. If he proves unworthy in the future, this decision can be changed. Daniel nodded. Fair enough. Tyrion's challenge. As the council dismissed, Tyrion stepped forward, his face dark with anger. This is not overhuman, he hissed. You have the council's approval, but not mine. Daniel smirked. I didn't need it. Tyrion's eyes narrowed. You may have won today, but one day you will fail, and when that day comes, I will be waiting. With that, he turned and left Reynolds' side. He will not stop. Daniel shrugged. Let him try, she smiled. You are either very brave or very foolish. Daniel grinned. Maybe both. As they walked out of the hall together, the weight of this moment finally settled in. The hardest part was over, but the real journey was just beginning. Days had passed since the council's decision, but the tension in the palace remained thick. Daniel had won the right to stay, yet he could feel the unspoken challenge in the air. Some still doubted him, and Tyrion was just waiting for a chance to strike. Rhaenyra walked beside Daniel through the palace gardens, her violet eyes scanning the horizon. The twin moons of Zelveria cast a silver glow over the strange glowing plants. Daniel stretched his arms. So do I get a break now, or do I have to fight another monster to prove myself again? Rhaenyra chuckled. No more trials, but you must still be careful. Many do not trust you. Daniel sighed. Yeah, I got that. She reached for his hand, but I do. He smiled at her, feeling warmth spread through his chest. No matter how many challenges he faced, as long as Rhaenyra stood by his side, he wasn't alone. But their moment of peace was short-lived. A deep voice interrupted them. You should not be so comfortable, human. The warning. Daniel turned to see Tyrion standing nearby. Arms crossed, his eyes burned with challenge. Daniel sighed. Let me guess. You're here to tell me how I don't belong again. Tyrion smirked. Not this time. I am here to warn you. Daniel raised an eyebrow. Warn me? That's new. Tyrion stepped closer, his expression serious. You think the council's decision means you are safe? You are wrong. There are those who refuse to accept a human in our world, and some of them are dangerous. Rill's expression hardened. Who are you talking about? Tyrion hesitated, then glanced around before lowering his voice. There is a group. The Purborn. Daniel frown. Sounds like a friendly bunch. Tyrion's eyes darkened. They are not. They believe Zelveria should remain untouched by outsiders. They will not accept the council's decision. Daniel felt a chill run down his spine. He had expected resistance, but not something like this. So what? They're just angry politicians. Tyrion shook his head. No. They are warriors, and they believe removing you is necessary for our survival. Rill's grip tightened on Daniel's hand. Why are you telling us this? Tyrion's jaw clenched. Because I may not like the human, but I do not trust the pureborn either. They do not follow honor. They act from fear. He looked at Daniel. Watch your back, human. They will come for you. Without another word, Tyrion turned and disappeared into the night. Daniel exhaled. Great, now I have a fan club. Rhaenyra's expression was serious. This is not a joke, Daniel. If Tyrion is warning us, then the threat is real. Daniel nodded. Then we'll be ready. The attack that night. Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching him. He was staying in a guest chamber within the palace, a room designed for high-ranking visitors. The walls pulsed with soft blue light, and the air smelled faintly of the strange Zulvarian flowers. But something felt off. He lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling. Then a sound, a faint click, a whisper of movement. Daniel sat up just as the lights in the room flickered out. His instincts kicked in. He rolled off the bed just as something sharp slammed into the mattress where he had been lying. His heart pounded there. Here in the dim glow of the alien night, he saw shadows moving. At least 3 figures dressed in dark armor, their violet eyes glowing faintly. Daniel didn't wait. He grabbed the nearest object, a heavy decorative metal plate, and hurled it. It smashed into one attacker's head, sending them stumbling. The second one lunged. Daniel ducked, rolling across the floor narrowly, avoiding a blade that sliced through the air where his neck had been. Think. Daniel wasn't as strong as them, but he was faster, smarter. He grabbed a chair